This afternoon. Fabulous.
I'm Danny Bonaducci, and you are watching Govs Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent.
Good idea. They just go with the flow. It's the Herschy and Keegs Show.
Welcome to Herschy and the Keegs Show, starring pitcher Mark Hirschman and his personal catcher, Mike Keegan. Every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. live from the Governor's Comedy Club radio studio. Thanks so much for listening.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday night, 9 p.m. We are back. It is the Herschy and the Keegs Show. As always, coming at you. It's time to wiggle those butts and jiggle those nuts, because we're going to have a party.
Oh, yeah, we are going to wiggle our nuts today, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. We talked about that earlier, I believe.
We and Tony were talking about it before you got here.
See, how did I know?
You did a great job, Mikey, today.
You.
Wonderful. What's up, boys? Nice to see you. Sorry about last week. I had a little personal stuff to take care of with the family.
Yeah, but, you know what? You had like 3 different things to do. Like, everything got canceled, and then you could have just
Sorry, Mike. I didn't have a concert like you do every goddamn Tuesday of your life. I know.
The OAR announced their headlining summer tour today.
I can't wait. Great.
I already got my tickets tickets
Yeah,
for the
I'm
summer.
sure you did. Yeah.
They're not playing at Jones Beach. My favorite band, OAR.
OAR, yep.
They're not playing at Jones Beach this
No,
year.
no.
They're playing at Pier 17 in the
Oh.
South Street Seaport.
No, that's a pretty big venue. What is it, 11 people?
It's small, dude.
Yeah.
Because they're like headlining. They were with
Right.
the Goo Goo Dolls last year, so now they're headlining.
Who's the opener? Juliana?
Fits in the Tantrums.
Oh,
You know
you
Fitz
know
in the-
what? I'm surprised they were able to get that group
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that particular night.
It's going to be Fits in the Tantrums. And
Yeah.
guess what I think I'm going to do? August 18th, they're playing out at the Red Rocks in Colorado.
Oh,
I
Wed
think-
Walks, yeah.
Wed Walks. I
Yeah.
think I'm going to go out to Wed Walks and go see OAR.
Mike, it's time
It was
to
an exciting
reevaluate
day.
things, buddy.
It was an exciting day.
I got to say something. Tony is such a humble man. Tony,
really is.
he did not tell us that he was opening up this weekend. He opened up. Who did you open up for, Tony? You were hosting a show for who?
No, it's really not.
No,
like
it is.
that.
Tony, it is.
The God's honest truth. So yeah, Ben Bailey was here.
Ben
Ben
Bailey,
Bailey, Cash Cab.
Cash Cab,
Cash
right?
Cab,
The
yes.
guy who took the show from Chris Monty's fucking
Exactly.
snatched it out of his hands. Our dear friend Chris Monty
That's true.
was the Cash Cab guy, and then Ben Bailey.
Yep.
Ben Bailey came in, and he was the Cash Cab.
So Ben Bailey, when I started in here almost 6 years ago,
Yeah.
Ben Bailey was one of my first guests.
Yes, he was.
And but it was on the phone. So
Yeah.
this was the first time I'm meeting him in person. He was in the green room.
Sure.
I happened to be walking by myself.
Yep.
Sorry, he was by himself. So
Yes.
I just stopped in, introduced myself, and
You
I
were
said,
probably by yourself, too, though.
Yeah.
You were
Well,
both,
yeah,
you were
true.
both by
Who
yourself.
who else are you going to be with? Yeah.
So exactly. So I just introduced myself, and I told him he was my guest. He said he remembered. Which,
Yeah,
you know, I don't know.
he didn't. No.
But he then started complaining that there was no MC. It was just him and the feature, Fat J. And he was complaining about it. And then I was like, all right, well, sorry. Like, what am I,
Right.
So he goes, well, you work here. Can't you get me an MC? And then right away I'm thinking, well, yeah, not unless I want cement boots. Like, I'm not making those decisions.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Yeah.
Edit
I was
that
like,
part
I
out.
don't know what to do. I say that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. So I go up to the
Okay,
bar.
Nutman. Come on, Nutman. Get the Nutman to MC.
Well, I go up to the front. James isn't even here. He was at because they were doing something over at Smithtown with John Joseph.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
yeah,
the
yeah.
theater, yeah.
So I mentioned it to Laura. Laura calls James. They're talking for a minute. She puts the phone down. She looks at me. She goes, all right. So James said to go do it.
That's awesome.
I was like,
Son of a
whoa,
bitch.
whoa.
You wiggled your way into hosting for Ben Bailey.
So I said to her, I go, I'm not really dressed. I go, I didn't mention this for me.
Right.
I'm just telling you what the guy wants.
I don't even have my good leg on.
Exactly.
And I'm not very good at this.
Well, that too. That's a big thing. And the last time I turned James down, you remember, because I said to him, I said, you got Mike Keegan at the bar. Why are you putting me up?
Right.
James, to this day, still picks on me about it.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm like, so Laura puts down the phone. She goes, look, you want to do this or not?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't turn this down.
Can't
I'm
turn
like,
down.
course.
Weekend host. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So I'm
yeah.
like, all right, I guess I'll do it.
Tony,
And it was that.
we're so proud of you.
I mean, and it was 7:10.
Yeah.
When that happened, I go, what time was the show starting? She goes, it's supposed to start at 7. I'm like,
yeah.
yeah.
So then Tony came back to the green room and he said, "Ben Bailey, they asked me, I'm going to host for you." He goes, "No, I'll just take the fat
I
check."
like a two-man show.
I like, you know what I really think? I was thinking about
Two-man
it.
show. Let's try a new thing here. I'm gonna walk out on stage here, and we're just gonna start. No music, no host.
Two-man show. Two-man show
Nothing.
sounds good.
Two-man show is good.
Pond is good for you.
That's fine.
I did double duty, as a matter of fact,
Yeah.
fellas. I was in here, too. I was running back and
Wow,
forth.
Tony,
Yeah.
you are making
Oh
it,
my
buddy.
God. That's
Wow,
awesome.
that's one thing I learned.
And the crowds, good crowds?
Actually, it was a great crowd. It was probably one of my better nights being on
That's
stage.
awesome,
doing
Tony.
stand-up.
Yeah.
That's really great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's really awesome. Yeah, I learned this years and years ago. Is that when James, the owner of the club, who's a great guy, when he tells you to do something, you do
Yes,
it.
that's right.
I had stopped down to the brokerage just as many years ago. I was probably only doing comedy for like a year or two, and it was a Saturday night, hot crowd at the brokerage, late show. And he walks over to me. I just came over to see the show, and he's like, "Mr. Hirschman, you're gonna do a set tonight." I'm like, "No, I just came to have a little bite to eat and a drink." He goes, "Let me rephrase this. You're doing it," and I went on, and Corey Rodriguez was the headliner.
The new manager of the Mets.
Corey Rodriguez was. This was before he was coaching the Yankees.
Okay.
He was closing sets at the brokerage,
There you go.
and I went out and I did all right. But
Awesome,
I remember you thinking like, shit, I'm not ready to do this, but I'm going to do it.
You don't say no. Also, you think of all the people hanging out that would be dying to get up on that stage.
That's
you know?
right.
You know, you
That's
don't
right. So I
do
did
them
it,
a
and
disservice.
so we're proud of you, Tony.
Proud of you,
We're
Tony.
proud, and it doesn't happen
Thank
that
you.
often. Mike, you had a busy weekend. You were off at City Steam, right?
I did. I was at where was I?
I don't know.
I don't know. Wasn't
Oh,
it
you
this-
did a charity show where you
Oh.
your bar bill was more than what you got
That's
paid.
correct.
That's
I
right.
did I did a fundraiser with Jen Snortland. She made
right.
she made a calendar, the Men of Long Island Comedy.
Yeah.
And a bunch of us got together. I was Mr. February.
Yeah.
And we did it at Garden Social here. It was a fundraiser. All the money went to some autism school.
Right.
And it was a good cause. It was a
Yeah.
nice turnout in there. It's a nice room for comedy. But I ended up, my bar tab was $90.
Oh,
and I
$90.
got paid $40.
All right. Well, listen. So $50 you got off with a great night.
But yeah, it was fun. It was a good fundraiser.
Good.
I hung out here on when did I come down here? Sunday night.
Sunday night you were here.
Hung
Yeah.
out here. It was an awesome show. I wasn't on the show. I just came to have a couple of drinks.
Sure.
And awesome show. Very
Yeah.
cool show.
Okay, good.
Here's a picture from the show that night.
That was
Oh, very nice.
Mikey.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
That's Mike Keegan.
Yeah.
Look at that guy.
Looking good,
Telling the
Mikey.
jokes, yeah.
Very good.
That's a handsome.
So you had a good night there.
Good night there. And then also I got good news on Monday that I'll be at McGuire's this whole
McGuire's
weekend.
in Bohemia for you Suffolk County people.
Yep.
Mike will be there this weekend opening up for...
For Johnny Watson.
Wow.
Carla's going to be hosting. I'll be featuring Johnny Watson closing Friday night 7:30 or 8. And Saturday night at 7 o'clock.
Wow, Johnny Watson. That's
I love Johnny Watson. He's
Yeah.
a good guy.
Yeah.
He's gone through a lot the last couple of years.
Yeah,
And,
well, we'll pray
so
for
come
Johnny
support
Watson,
him.
and we'll pray that you have a good set.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be fun. And then it's all practice for December 1st.
December 1st, baby, govs.com. If you don't have your tickets, you have a problem.
Yeah.
I would get on that right now. It's going to be me and Tony and Keegan and Brandon LaCaruba and Patty O'Rourke and Richie Byrne. It's going to be a killer show of Anglo-Saxon white men.
That's right,
And that's really
exactly.
pretty bad, actually.
Yeah, you know what?
But we're gonna have a great time.
I book funny. I don't try to check
Yeah.
boxes.
That's right. Well, it's going to be a great night. My highlight the past couple of weeks, my wife Stacy ran the New York Marathon.
Yes, congratulations, Stacy. You finished.
She did not win, so she brought shame to the family.
She was right behind the Kenyan.
But she did a great job. She ran it. She celebrated her birthday of last week, which leads to my first little anecdote, because I'm ready to start firing out of the gate with an anecdote.
Always.
So obviously with Samantha and Anna up at school, it was one of the first time ever that Anna wasn't around for Stacy's birthday, so that was a little bit a little sad. But me, Stacy, and Max did what we usually do, which was a little hibachi dinner.
Ooh, nice.
So we went out to Hibachi Miyoku over in Hicksville. I think it's actually called Miyaku, but we can
never
call it
been to
Miyaku.
that
You'll
one.
be there. You've hit every other
That's the
ethnic
only
Chinese,
hibachi I've
Japanese.
never been to.
Yeah. So we go there. Now tell me,
Asians?
Japanese. That's
Okay.
what considered Asian. Yeah.
Well, you go to Benihana, they're all Puerto Ricans.
No. There wasn't. This is actual Asian people. And so tell me if I found this so peculiar, and I don't know if anyone else at the table did or not. It's the first time in all my years of going to hibachi I ever saw this. So the guy's hitting the things around, the mallets, and he's doing the
Yeah, I
flips
love
and
when they do
whatever.
that.
And then he gets the onion and he cuts a hole in it, and then he lights a fire in the onion.
Like the volcano.
Yeah, it's like a little.
Yeah.
So that I've seen before, and then he segues into his next trick, which is the sake time. Sake.
I know that one.
So before he starts giving the sake squirts, the onion.
I had a case of the sake squirts.
You had it. You probably have it right now. Actually, that's why you were late. He takes the sake canister squirter. It's I think it's actually like a mustard squirter. That's what it looks like, right?
Yeah.
And I've never seen this before. He holds it to his groinal area.
No way.
Yeah, I've never seen this. Like to his Huang, you know, basically. And he puts
Which was also his name.
Yeah, Wang puts the thing near his wang, and he puts the fire out,
Really?
and
No
it's by
way.
his tallywhacker, and he's squirting the fire
That's
out.
sick.
And I'm like, what the fuck is my child's here?
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly.
What kind of fucking animal behavior is this?
Hell?
And the people that we were with at the table, they were duds. Like, they just come from church. I really thought they came from a funeral. Turned out it was a confirmation. But they had no personality. Grandma, grandpa, kids, whatever. And I'm looking over at Stacy and Max is like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And he wants me to swallow that after he shoots his piss?
Yeah, when he shoots it at you, does he also do it from his groin?
I don't understand. I'm like, is this a joke? I've never seen this fucking
Hey,
happen
the
before.
cream of some young guy.
I don't know what the fuck it was. And he laughed like it was funny. I'm like, that's fucking vile.
Yeah, no, 'cause you don't do that.
Yeah, so he's like, Saki. I'm like, I'm going to pass. Thanks,
Yeah,
piss
no,
boy. I'm going to pass on you pissing in my mouth right now. Thank you, though.
Dude, that's wild at like a family
Yeah,
restaurant.
I don't
Like,
know
this
what the
isn't
hell
a-
was happening.
Yeah, this isn't a burlesque bukkake
I don't know.
hour.
I'm like, is Mike Keegan going to pop out and say, surprise, happy birthday to Stacy?
Supplies.
It was so weird. So that happened there, and I wanted to tell you because you had talked about it. There's a new place that opened up right here in Levittown, 2 doors down from the hibachi place. It had that long. What was the name? Deng Wang Bang.
Dang Wang Bang Shun.
Yeah, so it has this crazy long name, and I called the other day, and I'm like, I want to find out what this place is all about. I did find out, I think from you, that it's like a very ethnic Chinese noodle place,
Yeah.
but it's like originally from Flushing, and so I called there, and the lady answers the phone, but she answers it in Chinese. She's like, Ding Dao, or whatever she said, and I'm like, I wanted to place an order. And then she's like, Ding Dao. She says it again, whatever she's saying. And I'm like, then she's like, English? I'm like, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, no, who's calling here speaking exactly?
so they get the phone to the guy who barely speaks any English. I get my order in, and I pick up the stuff. I walk into the place, and there's not white people, black people, Hispanic. It's only Chinese.
Really?
The clientele. It's a beautiful little place in there, by the way.
It seems really nice.
It's gorgeous, but it's not a place you'd find in Levittown normally. Like,
exactly.
you go in and you're slandered against for being
I don't
not
think you're allowed to
Chinese.
call him that, yeah.
What?
Slants?
No, slandered. You're slandered
Oh, it isn't
against.
slanted.
No, and I would never say those words. But they apparently it's a very, very
They have
ethnic.
no interest in catering to American.
It is really for the
Yeah.
for the Asian population, and I
littered-
think specifically Chinese people,
Yeah.
because that's what it is. And I don't think they care if there are other people in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So
It's just littered with Orientals.
there's no rugs in there. No, it's just Chinese. I mean, I don't know. They could have been Korean or Vietnamese, but they look like they were all of Asian descent. Is my point, and that's the place that you had
Yeah, because
had talked up.
Carl is dying to try that place.
Yeah.
I want to try it too. Like I love,
Oh, it was
I love noodle houses.
But it's not like. So I ordered something, and
Do you even know what you ordered?
you know what? I saw something that said rib and soup and noodle together.
There you go, yeah.
And it's like a heavy bag, and I bring it home, and there's like a canister I couldn't even open. Like, I needed directions. I almost needed a screwdriver to open it. And I open it, and it's just these nice, fluffy, plain white noodles. That's it.
Yeah.
But the second thing was a big soup container, and it had like ribs and carrots and a shoe. There was like all this shit in there, and I
Yeah.
guess I didn't really know. It didn't come with the directions.
Yeah.
So now I kind of wish I
It's
stuck
like
around.
IKEA. You got to build your own.
I'm like, and I ate it and I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I did it the way, you know,
Yeah.
like, I think I've seen videos where like they shovel it, like it's,
Yeah,
they shovel it.
They don't breathe.
I didn't shovel. I
didn't
took
shovel, you
my
gotta
time.
shovel.
I had it over 2 meals. So I think I
Yeah.
failed, but
No,
next
yeah.
time I'm going to go in, and we'll go in.
We'll shovel.
We'll do a remote.
We'll
We'll go shoveling there.
We'll bring the sake guy to pee on us.
Hey, I'll piss in your face. Yeah, it was the weirdest fucking
That's
thing.
crazy.
So I
can't believe you tried that place before I did.
you know what it was? Stacy was away. She was in Vermont with her friends for a couple of days, and Max had wanted. I think he wanted like Wing Zone, the place over here, which is
Yeah.
it's literally dog food. It's not a good place at all.
yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not having wing zone. If I'm having wings, I'm going to Croxley's or Jackie
Exactly,
Riley's.
yeah.
So I'm like, let me try this place. And I called, and that whole thing developed. And yeah, it's so.
Well, it's a good report back. That's a good report back
Yeah.
you made to me. And,
Thank you. Yeah, you guys were out doing comedy, and I was visiting every single Asian food place as possible.
Yeah, you got very Asian this week.
I got Asian this week.
I didn't really do much comedy this week. I was off on Saturday night. Oh, I took Juliana to the Islander game Saturday.
I saw that. I saw that, dude.
Her first Islander game.
I commented that I think that you are a wonderful
Thank you.
father.
I
You
really,
saw that.
I really appreciate
Yeah.
that. You know,
People
she
need
just,
to know that that's what you are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Some people don't recognize that.
Well,
And they
I
can go
recognize it, and
scratch their own balls.
yeah, you're a good father. I mean, the
thank
seats were pretty bad, I could tell. So you didn't
seats-
do that good a job.
So this is
but
the deal with the seats. They were Section 215. They weren't terrible.
Yeah, they didn't look
But
good.
listen, she just started playing hockey that day.
Oh, okay.
She had her first hockey practice.
She's anything that costs money. This child.
Seriously.
I mean, what, is she learning how to play piano? You're buying her a fucking.
She had piano. She had voice. She's doing wrestling now. She just started wrestling practice.
Oh God, just what she needs.
I know. So she had her first hockey practice on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Let's celebrate, and I'll take her to the Islander game. But she's never watched hockey. She loses interest in
Couldn't
stuff
care
really
less.
quickly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not going to spend $1,000 on tickets.
No.
So I saw I'm in an Islander ticket exchange group.
Yeah.
And they had 2 tickets plus parking, $100.
That's not a bad deal.
And then it's in section 215, so it's not
Yeah.
the upper deck.
No, it was
kind of
okay.
in the middle.
Yeah.
So we went, and we had fun, and she said she liked it. You know,
Yeah.
we had a
Wait,
got her.
did the whole game you made it through?
We made it through the whole game. Probably in the middle of the second period, she started losing interest and saying it
Okay.
was boring and stuff.
Yeah.
She lasted a lot longer than I thought she was.
Okay.
Plus, it was like a boring game. The Islanders weren't scoring.
No, they
were
lost
losing.
like 6-1 or something. It was
So,
a terrible
yeah.
game.
So, at one point, she did lose a little bit of interest, and I do have this. Let's see if we can make it out.
You want to send it?
What do you think? What do you think of the game so far?
It sucks.
Suck.
I hate it.
No, why me?
Why?
I don't know.
She's just giggling her way through.
This is the boringest thing I've ever done.
Most boringest thing I've ever done.
It's boringer than
The end is the best.
and books. I can't even
What do you
read.
think of the New York Islanders, Jules?
Yep.
So that was when she started losing interest.
You've birthed an Islander fan.
Exactly. I'm like, I've known the
Yeah.
Islanders suck since 1985. All
That's
right.
amazing.
But then, so she said it was a great time. We had fun. So the next day, Carla asked her. She goes, "Did you have fun?" She's like, "I enjoyed spending the night with Mike, but Mom, don't tell him I told you, but." I think it was really boring. I just told him I liked it because I know it meant a lot to him, and he likes it.
That's a good girl who gets
She's
it.
a good kid. She's got a big heart,
Yeah.
kind heart. She's like,
Yeah.
I feel bad. We don't like anything that Mike likes. She's like, we don't like
Comedy, OAR,
Exactly.
Chinese noodles.
She's like, we don't like fishing. We don't like
Right.
hockey. We don't like football. She's
Yeah.
like, I feel bad. We don't like anything he likes because they do their own thing and have fun. And like,
Right. You
so-
torture them with horrible things.
I know exactly.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved taking her to the Islander game.
So let me ask you, at any thought was there like I'm gonna bring her mom and her, or just like
no,
it's
just
gonna
her.
be-
I don't want to deal with Carla.
Yeah.
No.
And Carla didn't care either.
No, she didn't care, but she had a show in the city.
Oh,
on Saturday,
okay.
So
Okay.
We
All
were
right.
having a date night anyway. I'm like, you know
Okay.
what? You're gonna be in the city. You don't care about hockey anyway. I'm gonna take Juliana
To the Hyundai?
and dude, for $100, like I'm like, you know what? If she loses interest in the first period and we leave, I'm like, I'm out $100. You know,
Dude, you've
It's not
stopped
bad.
at 7-Eleven with Juliana and spent more than $100.
Exactly, dude.
So
Exactly.
I mean, she probably had more fun there, but
she loves 7-Eleven.
that's great, dude. That's really
was fun,
cool.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really nice. Speaking of ethnic, a lot of the things I have to talk about today are ethnic. Tony, you have the thing I had sent you to punch up.
Spicy little episode we have tonight.
Yeah, so I had, a frequent show contributor, Suzanne Galina, who I know you've privately spoken to about having on as a guest on the show. So thank you for taking the liberty of doing that.
I
But
was at the Islander game.
Yeah.
And I ran into somebody. I didn't even know who it was.
yeah,
And like it's, I guess, an open mic comic or anything
Yeah.
or something. They're like, "Oh, there's the show going." I'm like, "You should come on sometime." Like, I wish
Yeah.
Mark was here. Like, I don't even
Yeah,
know.
you know what's funny? You should tell people that they should come on, and then we can go to the parking lot and greet them, and they can watch as I can beat you to a living pulp in the parking lot.
It's every time like I have a cocktail or two, I'm like, "Yeah, come on the show." And then
it's good.
You just got to talk to Mark because he does the bookings and everything.
So Mike is at the game, tanked with his with his daughter. That's nice.
I was sober as a whistle
Yeah.
at the game, but I
Yeah.
was still inviting people on.
I love that. Yeah, let's talk after the show. So, frequent show contributor Suzanne Galena apparently was at Walgreens the other day, and during one of our communications, she's like, "What is it with?" So the woman who helped her apparently was of either Indian or Pakistani descent, and she said, "What is with?" Indian people when they say something to you and they have a little bit of a head shake, and I'm like, I never really thought about it, but
They do, yeah.
when she said it,
Hello.
so Tony, please go ahead and cue it up. The Suzanne Galena head shake she showed, so that's essentially the move, and I said I never really thought about it, but I'm going to research it a little bit, and I did, and it's a real thing. It's a real thing that is referred to, according to Wikipedia, as a head bobble or a head wobble or the Indian head shake, and it is a Southeast Asian descent, but mostly from India.
Yeah,
So-
the Indian head shake. I love
Yeah,
it.
and it's basically what it means is, let me take off my non-prescription glasses so I can see, and it's a common gesture just showing like agreement or kindness. So it's
Yeah.
not like anything aggressive or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a real...
But it does look like they're kind of like messing with you a little bit.
It's
does
not.
look a little-
But it's not. It's
Yeah.
So apparently she was getting something at Walgreens, and she asked the lady, and the lady gave her a little head thing, and
little, bob and
then,
weave?
and then she went ahead and sent me the and
dude, it's so funny you mentioned that because we didn't even talk about this before the show,
No.
but I just
well,
noticed
that's because you never answer any of my calls
That's true.
all day long.
Well, because Jackie Martling told me not to.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And our show's so much better because of it. That's true. You're right. Okay.
But
Thank you, Suzanne, by the way.
thank you, Suzanne. But yeah, I literally just before I came here, I picked up Indian food, and the woman at the front. So I guess I ordered lamb chops with the Indian food. I ordered like butter chicken and naan and lamb chops, but I guess they were out of lamb chops. So she was trying to call me.
Who was the lady?
The lady at the Indian store, and
Indian.
she was trying to call me.
That's the name of it.
Yeah.
But she was trying to call me to tell me that they didn't have the lamb chops, but I don't answer numbers that I don't recognize.
But we see a dog outside. We think we can get it. Give us 10 minutes.
But I didn't answer her call because I don't answer unrecognized numbers.
Right.
So I get there and she goes, "Oh, we didn't have the lamb chops. So I'm gonna give you blah 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 instead." I have no idea what
No
dish
idea
she
what
said.
blah, blah, blah.
She's like,
Yeah.
"It's just like lamb chops." First
Yeah.
of all, it was nothing like lamb
She
chops.
said, "Bingo the Dalmatian," is what she
But she
said.
gave me one of the "Thank you for waiting for us." Thank you.
Yeah,
She gave me
she
the Indian
did.
head shake, and I noticed that.
What a segue.
I know, right? Exactly.
So you don't know what it was that you
I don't
ate.
know what it was, but it was not lamb chops, and it was not chicken.
And how was it?
It was delicious, but it was very spicy. Carla doesn't like spicy.
Okay.
But the butter chicken was delicious. It was at this place right here, Fatez.
Where I don't even know. I've never
It's
been
across
to an
street from
Indian food
Arby's
place.
in East Meadow.
Oh,
shopping
in that
center.
strip mall over
Yeah.
there, where the
It's called Fatez
the-
Barbecue.
There's the hookah lounge over
Yeah,
there.
it's on the
and
opposite side of
Carrie
the
used to
hookah
own
lounge.
a place over there.
Yep,
The
she was down with
Carrylicious or whatever.
Carrylicious,
Yeah.
yes. And this place is there, Fatez.
Yeah. So you frequent Fatez.
I do frequent Fatez.
Yeah. Is that what it's called?
I put the fat in Fatez.
So this is a place that's been established.
It used to be called Barbecue Night.
Okay. Which is also an Indian term.
And before that,
Yeah.
it was also like the Tandoori Palace or something.
Okay.
But
So
now
it's got staying
Fatez.
power. Yeah.
It's got staying power, but the food there is delicious and
Yeah.
very inexpensive.
Okay. I've never really had any of that, but
Get the butter chicken. It's so good.
it tastes like lamb.
It's not chicken, but it's called
I
butter
wonder
chicken.
why they were out of the baby lamb chops.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to some
So
lamb
so
chops
you
there.
picked up some food, you went home, ate, and then you
Yeah.
came out
And
to
then
the
I came
show.
here, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I did
Awesome.
watch Rudolph. I watched Rudolph the
You
Red-Nosed
did.
Reindeer too.
You did.
Juliana's doing the play, so we're trying to study.
I'm going to continue. This is not ethnic per se, but
man, I'm out of here then.
I was at, and this might, obviously we try to talk about things that are interesting or funny or relative. That's really the first lesson I ever got in comedy was my second show, and Joe Starr was watching me perform. And I think I've talked about this multiple times on the show, but after that set, he sent me like a 3-page email, which was basically ripping me to shreds for the most part, in the nicest way possible. It was very constructive. Yeah. But the message was, if you want to be funny, you need to be relative. You need to speak about things that people can, nod their head at, not nod this way, not sideways.
Just do some Indian jokes.
So, and I think we try to do that with the show as well. We want to talk about things that people can relate to. But so I don't know if you can relate to this, but this was something that that the other day I was online at Dunkin' Donuts. I was picking up donuts. Max was going to a friend's house. So I went to pick up like a dozen, and there was I'd say like 6'2", 200-pound, handsome black gentleman in front of me. Ooh. And yes, he was all that and a box of chips, bag of chips.
Yeah,
but
box of
anyway,
chips.
He was on the phone. I think he was on the phone with like maybe his younger daughter or something like that. And at the end of the conversation, and this is why black people are so much cooler than we will ever be. Like, they're cooler than white people or anyone, anybody. They're just fucking cool as shit. Yeah. And he goes to say goodbye to his daughter, and he's like, "Love you." And I'm like I want everyone in this room right now. Do you know what I'm saying? How?
Yeah.
So,
love you.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Love you.
And I'm like, God, I
want
want someone to say that to me.
I want to be able to say that to someone.
Say
like try to say it to Max or something.
Yeah, love you. Yo,
Max, love you.
Yeah, that was better. That was better. Tony, can you give us some? Can you try to?
Ooh, a little Barry White.
Tony, wow.
I made myself hard.
All of a sudden, I want to be back at Dunkin' Donuts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tony has the soulful voice of a black man.
Yeah. So he gave the love you, and I was like, man, that's just so fucking cool, man. Oh, I was like, it's a weird thing to be jealous about. I mean, there's other things.
Now, and now I wasn't even there. I don't know this guy, but I'm jealous about that. That I can't just be like, love you. Be like, what's wrong with you?
I mean, there's
you having a stroke?
Yeah, it was so, and like, there's other things that you could be jealous about, other races or creeds or whatever. This was an interesting one.
Yeah, no, that is an interesting one.
Yeah, love you. So, I'd like if we can, from now on, we can address each other with love you.
Mark.
Yeah.
Love you.
Thank you. I love that. So we're gonna focus in now.
No, you love that.
I love you.
Love that.
I love you, man.
Love you, man.
I love you.
Man.
He was just so fucking cool. This guy.
One love.
He was so cool. Yeah. All right, we don't have to go through all the. Okay, just can you just let things just be once, please?
Sorry.
So I know that sometimes when I post anti-Levittown stuff, you see that like some of my Levittown lifers, they will get at me. And by the way, these are good friends of mine. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But the people who were born and raised in Levittown take offense to it. Like, you're from fucking Valley Stream. It's a shithole too. You know, I'm like, yes, it's not. I'm not. Yeah. When I take shots at Levittown, it's not because I love. I live there. I love it. It's great. But it's like
your kids they're raised
at two very smart kids. But.
And the other kid that you love?
I love him.
You love him?
I love him. But, it's like self-deprecation. We poke fun at ourselves. So that's when I poke fun at Levittown. Yeah. So the day of Stacy's birthday, of course, you have to go to every extreme for the love of your life, obviously. Yeah. So I'm at Dollar Tree. Yeah. Okay. And I'm getting the pre-made balloons that are there. Thank God, because I'm like, if they don't have them, I'm gonna have to go over to Party City and spend $4.50 a balloon when the same fucking things have been hanging there forever in Party City that'll be dead in an hour. So I go in there and I see that the balloons were pre-made, and there's been some issues with the balloons at the Levittown Dollar Tree. They've been out of helium a lot over the past few months. Yeah. Luckily, I was
All right.
good.
Yeah.
I was good. So I go in there. I'm like, all right, the balloons are good, and then I'm gonna go to the candy aisle because you can $5. You're loading up with
100%.
Milk Duds,
Yeah.
Twix, whatever you want. So as I'm walking down the aisle, I see that there's a woman, and not homeless or anything. It's a regular person. She's in a pretty heated conversation, and she decides to sit down on a shelf. Like she's like sitting down, like she must be exhausted from this beat down that she's giving to her it sounded like husband, boyfriend, whatever it was. So she just plops. She just sits there, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, of course I'm listening, but I'm, picking out like peanut butter cups and
Not this has anything to
No,
do
go ahead, please.
anything.
Yeah.
Just so I get a visual. What was her ethnicity?
No, she was looked like. I mean, I noticed a little bit of a mustache. She's probably Italian. Either that, or she still had Halloween decoration on, and she went as Mr. Adams. I don't know.
Gomez Adams.
But Mr. Gomez. That's right.
Yeah, Mr. Adams.
So I'm
That's wild.
I'm watching this, and I'm not looking at her. I'm basically like I'm looking at the candy, and then I'm listening to her.
You got her in the peripheral.
I have it because I want to see if this thing is going to take off a little bit. And so it starts with, you know what, Joe, you're a real piece of shit, And then it goes to, Joe, you're a scumbag. You're a fucking scumbag.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And so then when she went to fucking scumbag, that's when I got... like, I better tune in here,
Yeah, exactly.
And then some of the other candy hawkers were like looking around. And then she dropped you know what? You're also a fucking pedophile.
Whoa!
Yes.
Whoa,
and all of a
man.
sudden, Candy Lane fucking erupted. Well, like, all
right, lady, you're sitting on a shelf at the Dollar Tree.
yeah, like some perv at the end of the aisle, like looking for gumballs, was like, whoa, take this to another row, lady. And I'm like, I was so proud to live in Levittown at that moment because I'm sorry, you
That
just
was
don't.
very Levittown.
I'm like, I'm sorry to the people who are, my friend Kristen Nocerino. She doesn't like when I slander Levittown, but she knows it's all in fun.
Listen,
but
I lived in
this was-
Levittown for 3 years. I could say
yeah,
it too.
yeah. This was Levittown-y. This was super Levittown-y.
That's hilarious.
And yeah, you're
You know what, Joe? I'm gonna get up off of this Dollar Tree shelf and fuck you up.
She was just perched. She was just perched there. Is that not the craziest thing ever?
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Was she a larger woman?
She was, I would say, like, not big enough that she was going to crush the shelf.
Yeah.
But she was girthsome.
Yeah.
But not
I can picture this person.
Yeah. So that was a good Levittown story. But here's a really like a positive one. I don't know if I've told you this, but every single Friday when I pick up Max from school, that's the only day I pick him up at school, Friday, because I'm off from work at 2. He gets off at 3:00, and every time I'm on the sidewalk and there's 2 kids that are Max's buddies that they come up to the car and they're like, these kids love the podcast, Dad. So like these 2 kids, and like of course me, like it could be literally anyone giving
100%.
me any sort of accolade of anything.
Yeah.
And they're always like, hey, we love the podcast, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah, boys.
So we'll give a little shout out to Charlie and to Man Meat.
Charlie and Man Meat.
Charlie and Man Meat are big fans. Charlie, he wanted me to mention the fact that his dog Patty O'Sullivan died.
Oh my God!
I don't know. He wanted me to make mention of that. I guess.
Sorry for your loss.
But this particular day, the last time I picked him up, I guess it was the day that were we taping the Halloween show the day before? What is that? What we did? Something like that.
Yeah, we did it. We taped Wednesday,
Yeah.
Tuesday, and yeah.
So I told these guys, I'm like, the show's not going to be on Tuesday. It's going to be Monday. It's going to be a different type of setup. Just want you guys to be aware. And like, I was super excited that they were big fans.
That's awesome.
And as they're walking away, they turned around. They're like, is Keegs going to be there? And I'm like, just Christ almighty.
Yes.
Can I ever just...
My boys, Charlie
Right.
and Man Meat.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry.
Huh?
Yeah, sorry for Patrick.
Patty O'Sullivan.
Sorry for Patrick O'Sullivan.
Yeah, Patty O'Sullivan.
Patty O'Sullivan. I think he's
Yeah.
going to be on our show December 1st, though, Patty O'Sullivan.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We have a lot. We have, just so you guys know, we're not even going to kind of unleash it now because we are in the process of booking some exciting guests over the next few weeks, but we're looking to undercut every guest by getting a better guest. So the truth is, we don't really know our schedule.
Yeah, we don't know. It's just like hey, I just spoke to this guy. Should we bump this guy? And then
Mike will be like, hey, I got so-and-so for two. I'm like, that's an awesome guest. The next day he's like, the only day that person can come on is December 5th. I'm like, fuck the other person. Put them on. So we might end up with literally no guests.
Probably nobody because we're just bumping people for people who are going to screw us over.
Right. So the people that actually were going to come on the show are going to be so disgusted with the bumping
I know, right? Exactly.
that they're not going to come on the show.
Yep.
But I think we're going to have some, probably these are going to be like 15-minute Zoom spots. And we know you guys tend to like us doing the back and forth more than anything else. So we're not going to have 1 hour in-person guests.
No, exactly. It's not a whole thing, but it's guys that want to plug some of their stuff, some guys that we'll be working with, that we want to plug our shows with them. But a couple exciting ones. I don't know if we should name the names yet.
We shouldn't because
none of them
because we're just so excited that we can't seem to have any loyalty at all to any of them.
It's just like,
we've already gotten rid of at least one of them each time, so we're not going to bother doing that. But I did want to thank you, by the way. I got a message today, thanks to Mike. Someone had texted me, Facebook messaged me, asking me about what my rates are for magic shows. And I'm like, what the fuck is this all about? So I'd opened up my computer, my phone, I should say, and I saw some notifications. There was a couple of inboxes, and then there was a couple of notifications. And the first thing I saw was the inbox, and it was asking me what kind of rates for 45 minutes magic show. And I'm like, what? And then
Magic Mark.
Yeah. So then I go to my notifications and I see Mike Keegan has mentioned your name somewhere, and Mike apparently was on some sort of one of these wacky groups that he's in with these sycophants who are looking to book a show, and the person I guess posted. They were looking to book a pro bono show of comics and magicians, no pay, but anyone wants to do it. And people are like, I'll do it. And Mike just wrote, Mark Hirschman is a magician.
I said a great magician.
A great magician, yeah. So I don't have a lot of comedy gigs booked by choice, but
dude, take the gig, bro.
I am going to be sawing a woman in half though soon.
Carla's available.
I'm going to saw Carla in half.
But dude,
I think
you know what they say, never turn down a gig.
I'm not. No, I think that I'm not going to be sawing Carla in half, but she might be sawing me in half after her text last week was like, just so you know, next time that you can't make it like that last minute, I'm gonna co-host. And she's like, she wrote, what did she write? She wrote Carla and the Keegs, and I wrote back, never happening in the Keegs. And that was the end of the conversation. And
appreciate that.
I'm sure that if anyone is sawing anyone, it could be her and sawing me.
That's not a way to get on her good side.
But I do love her and her child even more, and I'm
could be. Hey, let me ask you so about Stacy. When you're done with a 26.5-mile race, does she just sleep for 3 days, or is she
You know what? It's incredible. The first race that she ran in 2016, I think it was, maybe.
Yeah.
She, obviously 7 years younger, I remember her being in bad shape that night, and I think she had to take the next day off. Mm-hmm. Somehow, 7 years later, I don't know if her body's become acclimated to running or her training was different, but
she's got a great body.
I mean, yes, you goddamn fucking creep. Oh God, I didn't even tell the story. I will tell the story now. She didn't want me to tell it at first, but I'm gonna tell it though. No, she ran a great time. Listen, 26.5. What is it? 26.2 miles. Yeah. It's an incredibly long.
Yeah.
That's like running to Manhattan.
Yeah, that's what I told her when I was at your house. I'm like, you don't have to do this.
Yeah, they love it, and honestly, listen, it's a big thing to schlep into the city and all that to go see her, but it's really nothing comparably to what she actually did.
Yeah,
her and her
exactly,
friend, her friend Carrie Ann ran as well, and so after the race, she was cold, just because it got like the sun went down, it got a little bit chilly outside. What is Sony up to bad news up here?
I'm trying, but
I'll keep on talking. We actually waited for an hour for her friend, and so she was a little bit cold, but
Her friend was an hour behind her.
she had a later start time, and she was a little bit later. Stacy did run a little bit of a faster time, I think, but anyway, but no, the next day she fucking woke up, went to work,
Really,
and she was good.
Oh my God,
she was good. Yeah, she was good. So I don't know how she in 7 years.
probably because she has such a great body.
It's probably that's
You know?
right. That's right. That's exactly right.
Like, she's in really good shape.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
But
Beautiful hair.
what are you doing, by the way, right now? I don't
Tony's up to no good.
You're not posting that big group picture, I hope. No.
No. Yeah, it ended up back there by mistake.
Okay.
Sorry.
So what happens is, and we can laugh at it now that we've lived through it, but have you ever been in the city for the marathon? I know you've run this marathon a couple of times.
Only running, but I'm not paying attention to anything else.
You run it and then you zone out.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just in the zone.
So you don't even pay attention to what happens.
Nope.
How the city is essentially
I put
closed
my
down.
AirPods in and I just zone out.
That's
and
it.
Next thing I know, 26.2 miles
Done. So
There's
basically,
fucking 6 Kenyans running behind me.
yeah. Sometimes they call them Kenyans as well. Sometimes they do. So basically what happens is they like the streets around Central Park from 70 something down to like Columbus Circle, 59th, everything is closed. It's just like it's Mardi Gras. People are just walking all over the streets. It's bedlam. So so we're waiting like on the corner of like 62nd and Broadway, literally just in the middle of the street, hanging out like on a bench, and then her friend comes, and originally the plan was that we were going to take an Uber or a cab or something down back to Penn Station. Max and I had walked up because we were fine to walk up. We didn't just run a marathon. But these girls had just run 26.2 miles.
Yeah, that's that last point two that kills you.
That's what got them. They were fine before that. So we're walking down, and then as we get to like, I guess 59th, I see that the 1 train is there. And I know the subways a little bit because I used to work in the city. So we go down, and obviously normally on a Sunday night at fucking 7 o'clock, the subways are probably empty. Well, they weren't empty. They like, if you've ever seen those videos of like China in
when they're like smushing them in there with a pole.
They are literally, in those videos they do like have like battering rams that stuff people in. Like the most crowded subway they've ever been in Manhattan is empty compared to what they do. But this particular subway that we got on was like like midweek 5 o'clock China. Like that's what it was. So obviously I wasn't like super excited about being in the subway. There's still some tension in the city, the whole, like people are still ripping signs down, and Hamas and Israel and all that stuff. So the subway pulls up and it gets to our stop and it's stuffed. Like it's already stuffed and we haven't gotten in yet. Okay? So like I grab a hold of Max, Kerry's behind me, Stacy's in front of me, and we get in, and like I'm about to like breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief, and I hear that little throaty Betty Davis voice of my wife's, "Someone's stepping on my fucking foot! What the fuck is this bullshit? What the fuck? You're gonna break my foot!" And I'm like, "Oh my God in heaven, there's gonna be a goddamn race war in the middle of the subway right now." And luckily cooler heads prevailed, and one guy was like, "There's nothing I can do," and Stacy's like, "Are you gonna do something?" She's looking at me, and I'm like, I got someone's fucking head in my balls right now. So we laughed about it afterwards, but there was like a minute or two there. I'm like, this is how it's gonna end. This is gonna how it ends. But we got back to Penn Station. We drove Stacy's friend home, and everything was fine. And Stacy went to work the next day, and she was fine. She's back to training and everything. So Yeah, I got to give her a lot of credit. It's remarkable feat, totally remarkable feat, absolutely. And there is definitely something when we actually were at the finish line.
Remarkable feet.
She has remarkable feet and toes, yeah. But when you're at the finish line, it is emotional. Like these people are, literally like dragging across the line, and
now, when you're there hanging out watching the thing, do you saw her run by you?
Oh yeah. What happened was she had made us. We had to buy. Me and Max spent $100 on. Well, we didn't take his money; it was my money. But grandstand seats, so we were right by the finish line.
Okay.
So I had like a Stacy head that I was holding up. I was holding up a big Stacy head, so she saw it. And then once the race riot had almost broken out in the subway, that was my my thing to like try to break the tension a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was holding up her head there because of course I can't handle anything with seriousness at all.
You just hold the head up. Hey, who's stepping on my toes? Stop stepping on my foot.
Dude, she's a tough broad, man. She's not afraid of shit. She's like, who the
But she
fuck
doesn't understand that you are not afraid of shit.
Right. Well, you know what's funny though, and it has happened a few times over the years that when she calls me to task, like you're gonna defend me now, I do it. Like I don't like I can be that guy if I have to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be generally, but I was working. This was like 5, 6, 7 years ago. She called me hysterically crying that someone hit her in the car. So I'm like, where are you? She's like, I'm over by the bowling alley, which is like by our house. And apparently someone had driven past her and clipped her rear view, like the side view mirror, and then drove off. So I get in my car and I fly over to the bowling alley because it's only a minute from where I work. And I get there and I literally leave my car in the street, throw the door open, and I got the guy to stop. And it was this guy bigger than me, younger than me. He was driving his mother somewhere. And I threw the fucking door open. And I'm like, you're not fucking going anywhere, motherfucker. And I flipped my shit. And there's proof of this, by the way. So you can, just so you don't think it's me bullshitting, our friends, the Cavanese, who live right across from the bowling alley, were inside watching me flip my shit. And the way the story goes is, I think one of the kids, Rory, the daughter, was like, Mark Hirschman's going fucking crazy on the guy in the street. And of course, this definitely could have ended with me with a bullet in my forehead, and it would have been over with. Definitely worth a scratch on my wife's side view mirror.
Right, exactly.
But the guy came out. He's like, "I'm so sorry. We didn't know." The guy was denying that he even knew that he hit Stacy, which he definitely knew that he did. Yeah. But and like he's trying to apologize to her. He's like, "Go fuck yourself."
Oh,
and I'm like, "Dude,"
I'm
like, "Don't fucking look at her. Don't talk to her." Yeah. And I went back.
He hold up the Stacy head.
So they got off, and I told him to get the fuck away because he wanted to apologize, and he drove off. And of course, I'm thinking like she's gonna think I'm the greatest thing ever, like I was the hero here, And Lynn comes out, our friend Lynn, the neighbor, and she like gives Stacy a hug, and I walk back to my car, and I'm like, she's like, all right, go back to work. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, what? Shouldn't exactly. I get like like dinner or something, out of this deal? No, nothing at all. So, but I can do it, Mike, if I need to. Yeah. Or at least then I could.
I believe you.
Yeah. So that's what happened. So like I said, I'm just super proud of her. I really am. Other than the subway thing, something's going on with you tonight. You're getting texts about a subject that is disturbing you. Something I can tell.
No, I'm just getting text messages.
What? But you're not that like your mom's saying to bring home Squinjeel. Something's happening. What's happening?
No, I'm just getting random text messages.
Random. Yeah. People don't know that you have a show. They don't care. They don't.
Funny you should mention his mom.
Yeah.
Hello.
Let's hear
she says,
"Hi, Diane."
She says she's surprised that Mark gets on the subway.
It's true. Yeah. I don't picture you for a subway guy.
And she also says that Michael had a neighbor, Man Meat.
I did have a neighbor named Man Meat. Yeah.
Man Meat.
He lived across the street.
Man Meat's a nice kid, and I actually drove Man Meat, and
he had a wife named Jazz Beer and a son named something.
Yeah.
Jazz Beer and Man
Jazz
Meat?
Beer and Man Meat. And
it's like an 80s sitcom.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
It was that '70s show he's describing.
I've met quite a few man meats in my life.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. Your whole childhood was with.
I'm pretty familiar with man meat.
I thought for sure he was going to say, but that was the game we played in college, man meat.
Every
Yeah,
Sunday.
we used to play a game called man meat.
Every Sunday was you with man meat. Every single one. Your whole childhood.
Look, he's not listening to you again.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That I'm worried about him. That something's going on. That someone is sending threatening texts or something like that.
No.
Is it
It's
anything
more
at all?
interesting, apparently.
Yeah. I wanted to cover a couple of stories that I had written down last week, but we weren't here. So, did you hear that there was a plane that was leaving from London recently, heading to United States of America? And there was only like 12 or 15 passengers on it. But apparently, one of the passengers was feeling a draft in the plane, and they were telling the other person to close their air vent. And it turns out that one of the window panes was missing in the airplane.
Oh my god!
So they were flying in a plane and they eventually had to have like an emergency landing, and they were fine. But they didn't realize this until 13,000 feet that this happened. Can you imagine the fucking total fright scare that if you were in a plane holding my hand and we saw that the window was out?
Like we do, yeah.
Right. I'm just saying that. Could you imagine what that would be?
Yeah.
That would be like.
No, absolutely not.
So that was one of the
Jesus.
That was one of the stories that I wanted to tell you. Tony, am I wrong here? He's definitely off all of a sudden. He's nervous. Something's going on with him.
I'm very on, I think.
No, I think he's off, but I don't think there's something wrong. I just think there's something more important than you.
Well, there's always something more important than me. What's happening with our comments tonight, Tony? What's happening with what else is going on?
Well, we had earlier we had John Butero said hello earlier.
Hi, John.
Hello, John.
Hello.
Nick Greystone said hello earlier.
Oh,
Hey,
hey,
Nikki.
Nick.
Hi. How
Host
are you?
of Primal Scream here on Govs Radio.
That's right.
Doing great.
Erica Kerr earlier said New York teams suck right now.
This is true.
Carla wanted to know what's a Kenyan.
Right.
Frank Loicano?
That's
Frankie
Frank.
Lucano.
Yeah,
That's my buddy Frankie.
That's his buddy.
Mark should join the WWE. Keegs can be his manager.
Oh, thank you, Frankie.
What would your WWE name be?
Oh,
little
man.
Jew.
I think it would be.
Well, tiny little angry little Jew.
You know what my name was when we used to play basketball over at the Carbonero School in Valley Stream, and I was a quick little Jew. My nickname was Matza Lightning, actually.
That's fantastic.
So I would ride with that.
Yeah,
Matza
yeah.
Lightning.
Yeah, ride.
I'd have
Matza
a like a cape made of matzah,
I love it.
right? Yeah.
Hogenberg.
Yeah. Who else?
Let's see. Frank Lucano's now laughing. Oh,
Yeah.
Dawn Ziegler.
Dawn Ziegler.
It's a laughing emoji with my name next to it. Well, thanks, Dawn.
Wow.
I didn't
Tony's
like
getting
that.
laughs.
First for everything.
Tony's been getting laughs all week.
Fucking A.
You know, I have to
He
say,
opens up for Ben Bailey. I don't know if you heard.
yeah, that's amazing. Dawn Ziegler, the new spouse, wife of John Ziegler, I feel like she has been pretty locked into our show. I think
She's very supportive.
Yeah.
And she's a great person. And
you know what? I
great
feel
to
like
have her
I've met her years ago at a holiday party or some sort of event, but now that she's Mrs. Ziegler, I feel like and maybe we'll have her on the show.
We should.
Mike, why don't you invite her on the show?
you don't think I have already?
You invited people to Islander game. Do you have any recollection at all of who this was that you invited at the game? You have nothing.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Was it at least like a hot broad? Like
No, it was a dude.
Oh God, even worse.
I got it.
I told him to reach out to you.
Yeah.
I know exactly what's going on here.
Let's go.
Mike's mom accidentally opened one of his packages today.
Oh boy, my Temu package.
She did.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's not what you've been dealing on
It's
the phone?
not. It's not. But now I'm just finding out that she opened one of my packages.
And Dawn Ziegler, she says she loves you guys.
We love Dawn
That's
Ziegler.
very
love her.
nice.
We love her.
But it's the only reason we tolerate John Ziegler is because of her.
What is the what was the Temu package? What'd you get?
I don't even remember because it comes from China, so it takes like 6 months to get here. I don't even
Right.
remember what the hell I ordered.
Is this one of those things like where you got a bunch of free shit? I know Max gets a lot of free
Yeah,
shit.
you know what it was? It was like they text me like 72 times a day, Timo.
So you get like the codes or the whatever,
exactly.
and,
then
spin.
and I still end up spending $100 on stuff that I wasn't planning on.
No,
buying
but
anyway.
but like I have a pair of sneakers that I wear from Timo. I wear them all the
Yeah,
time.
Like
Yeah.
a lot of the
Timo?
stuff I've gotten from Timo was
Is that
not
called Timo? It's not like
Timo.
Perez. He used to be a Met outfielder.
Timo Perez. Yeah, exactly.
Great
Yeah.
catch. Remember Timo Perez? Yeah.
I think he's the manager of the Mets.
That's
now.
right. Do you find that there's anything, even though you didn't need it, that is beneficial that you get from Temu, or nothing really?
No, you know what? Because dude, I they had like phone chargers for like $4 a piece.
Okay.
So I ordered like 8 of them. They last like a week.
Oh, okay.
They're terrible quality. I think I ordered like a couple of toys for Juliana though. I got to see how those work.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I ordered her a some kind of Disney toothbrush kind of thing.
So you're it's good that you're ordering things from China that are going to go into her mouth.
Exactly.
Like
it's a lead toothbrush. I'm spitting all over.
I just took a shower before I came over here. Oh my
spit all over
god.
myself. It's a lead toothbrush from China.
If I sample that right now, that's definitely COVID. That's definitely COVID. I have a spit sample of on my arm right now. That's definitely COVID. It's 2 lines. There's 2 lines on my arm all of a sudden.
Lick them.
How about if you order things from Temu, don't order things that the child's going to put in her mouth. Like, I'm going to say, like, no, just...
I don't make the best decisions.
You took her to an Islander game, and she had a great time.
She did have a great time.
She liked being with Mikey.
That's it. That's all that matters. It's
What was
not what you're doing until you're
What was the
with,
parking
okay?
lot like? Was it parking
Not
situation?
bad, dude. Like it was... It came with the tickets, but it's usually I think $35 or $45 to the parking garage that they have there. So you park right in the garage. It's maybe like a 5-minute walk into the arena.
Yeah.
Some of the lots there are pretty far, but they have shuttles.
So you found it not to be a total disaster.
Not at all. It
basically.
was really. It's well run. It's a beautiful arena. It was the first time I've been to a hockey game there. I've been to some events there,
Yeah.
but it's a beautiful arena. It's well run. The parking's good. It's a 5-minute walk.
Yeah.
I got right out of the park. I was on the 4th floor of the parking garage,
Yeah.
and I got out within 3-4 minutes. It was great.
Dude, that's amazing.
You can't do that at Yankee Stadium. I've been stuck in there for 2.5 hours at Yankee
Oh my
Stadium.
God, parking lot 8, you can be in there for
Yeah,
a fucking
I know.
eternity.
I was there one time. Somebody hit a foul ball, and I caught it. I didn't catch it.
No, you
It-
didn't.
It
Yeah.
bounced off my
It
hand.
crushed your hand.
I had a broken hand, and I'm sitting in this parking lot for 2.5 hours trying to get out of there at
love
Yankee
that.
Stadium.
Yeah,
Luckily, I had 18 beers in me, so
Right.
it didn't hurt that bad.
that seems to be the trend. I feel like before we end the
Wow,
show,
time
there's
went by quick. Hey, you have
yeah.
any good street jokes? We're doing a weekly street joke.
Oh, I wasn't gonna do. I wanted. There's one more Levittown story that I just remembered.
sure.
Another fucking bizarre. Now I don't know if this is. This just happened to have. It happened to happen in Levittown, but it's not a Levittown story. So you know that King Cullen is open. It's not closing, and I've really been spending time there just because I feel like like it's there. So I'm celebrating. So I'm going frequently to spend time with my family and friends there. You know
exactly.
So the other day I took a cart, I did shopping for about a half hour, and I go to the self checkout as I tend to do, and I fill up 2 bags of things. Okay. And when you go to the self checkout, you have your bags, and then the cart's next to you, and then the normal
Does
thing.
anybody else do anything around your house? You seem to be doing everything.
I like to go to King Cullen.
Okay, all right.
So I go to the self checkout, and as I go to put the 2 bags in the cart, a lady comes up to me, probably like late 60s, early 70s, and she says, "Are you still using that?" And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "There's no carts outside. Can I just take your cart?" And I'm like, "I guess." And I let her take the fucking cart.
Really?
I'm walking out of fucking King Cullen with 2 bags. And the King Cullen bags might as well be like paper towel hose down, essentially.
You need better boundaries, Mark.
Yeah, so I totally crumbled under the pressure.
Yeah, exactly. You need to
She's
build
like,
better boundaries.
I'm like, well, what kind of question is that to ask someone who's
Actively.
If she saw me at my car and I was unloading the bags into my car, then that would be a normal question. But I'm still in the process.
Yeah,
here.
exactly. Yeah, what a
You
nervy
can't-
bitch.
You can't can't ask someone that question. But because I'm so pussified that I couldn't.
That's why that place is closing down.
I couldn't say no, so I let her do it, and then I'm literally like trying to hold.
You're like a grocery cuck.
Yeah, I'm such a cuck.
Yeah.
Such a cucksucker. Yeah.
You did the right thing. You did the right thing. You gave her the...
No, but I mean, it wasn't like...
He did the right thing, but also she had really some nerve to ask him.
Like, don't you... Why don't you go outside and wait till someone's done with the cart, then... What if I just was in the middle of shopping and she's like, oh, you only have 8 items. Can you hold on to them and just give me your cart? Like, no, I'm still in the process of shopping here.
You're right.
I was still shopping, so I was upset by that.
No, I get it.
Yeah, so whatever.
But you did the right thing, but I get it.
God, end off on
totally
that fucking note. Okay, let's talk about what we got.
I got one quick street joke.
Let's do it. Let's go, baby.
It's the 1800s and Jesse James and the James gang, they're holding up a train.
Oh, like bank robbers,
right?
Yeah.
And Jesse James gets up and he goes, everyone give me your wallets or we're gonna murder all the women and rape all the men.
Yeah.
And somebody goes, don't you mean you're going to rape all the women and murder all the men? And some gay guy in the back goes, I think Mr. James knows what he's doing.
Well, that's surprising, Mike, that you like a gay joke.
I know, I love him. I'm a little offended by it, but you know.
That's surprising.
But yeah.
Okay.
But what are we doing? We got this weekend, McGuire's
Let's hear what
Comedy-
you got, Jesse James. Let's hear what you got.
Friday night and Saturday night, McGuire's Comedy Club. It's going to be me, Carla, and Johnny Watson.
I love that lineup.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Monday night, I'm going to be at the Avenue in West Hempstead with Carla, Mandy Jones, some other
Terrific.
people. And,
Killer show.
Thursday at Docks in Island Park.
Oh, wow.
And then December 1st, the big show that we
Yeah, I'm so excited. I've been putting some new bits together, and obviously, people who are coming to see me have seen me probably a lot of times over the years. But you will get some new material out of me. You're going to see Tony Walker for probably the first time ever, which is going to be cool. Super
Unless
cool.
you were at the Ben Bailey show.
That's right. That's exactly right. All right, Tony. What's your weekend like? What do you have? Anything magical mystery tour? Anything like that?
Bellport Brewing Company. Come enjoy a fun murder mystery show.
When is that? Give us a date.
Oh, sorry. That's
just drive out there one day.
That's this Saturday.
Yeah.
This Saturday, Bellport Brewing Company, and December 22nd at the brokerage.
I love it.
All murder mystery show. It's
All
gonna be
right,
a lot of
people.
fun.
Very good. Hey, listen. Thanks for tuning in.
We got a comment.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see Richie Byrne, says Diane Morabito Keegan.
Oh, nice.
All right,
She loves
thanks,
Richie. Thank you, Mama Diane.
She couldn't care
That's it.
less
Love
about
it.
Mark Hirschman.
No, that's okay. That's all right. Hey, folks, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Do what we always ask you to do and share us out. And, Tony, I'm going to fucking kill you, Tony. We love you guys. And we will be back next week with maybe a guest, maybe not a guest. We're not sure, but we'll let you guys know, okay? You guys have a good night, and we'll see you next week.